Grab your cup. When you can take the very worst thing that's happened to you in your life, the biggest painful experiences, the things that you didn't see coming, the thing that knocked you to your knees, when you can see that as the perfect springboard for creating and growing into a different version of yourself, now you have a key skill in life that most people don't ever master. When you can say to yourself, this happened, and as a result, I'm going to use it to grow myself. I'm not going to use it to stay stuck in the old version and the old pattern and the old stories. Now you're living your life, because there will always be painful experiences, things you didn't see coming, things that knock you down, right? There will always be there. Here's an example that I want to share. It's the morning after the Super Bowl. So much attention has been on Taylor Swift. Whether you like her or whether you don't like her, this is a great story and an example of what I'm talking about from her life. And I happen to like her. But Taylor Swift in 2019 was definitely a big star. She had a huge following. She had achieved a great amount of success. And in 2019, the company, the record label that she had a deal with, got sold or was bought by somebody else. And in that deal, they bought her masters, which what that refers to is the master copy, the original copy of her first 6 studio albums. So those first 6, which is a lot, albums that really got her popular, that people loved, were sold to someone else. She lost the rights to them, which meant she lost any financial gain that was going to come from them. She lost any decision-making process about them. And it was very defeating for her. Imagine anything similar to that in your life, right? You have no power. This is not only your body of work, what you created, that you have no power over, but you're also not going to get any financial gain from it anymore. It's going to someone else. It's going to make money off of your work, right? The frustration, the upset, the powerlessness. She was pretty young. And so what she did was, instead of staying in that upset and staying in the frustration of that, she went and re-recorded all of the songs in a different version, like an updated version. And they're called the Taylor version. And what happened was, by re-recording them in a different way, different enough that she could own them, it wasn't the same exact version, and re-releasing them, she got entirely new followers, like people who didn't know her from the album number 1 and number 2, because they didn't hear her, they weren't around then, whatever. Now she gets an entirely new following, so she grows her popularity tremendously, number 1. Number 2, most people liked the second version better, and many radio stations wanted to support her, because those kinds of deals happen, I guess, a lot, and it can be very devastating for the artists. So a lot of people were supporting her, so they liked the second version better, and they wanted to support her, so they swapped out the versions that they were playing on the radio. So now her version is gaining popularity. That happened in 2019, and that skyrocketed Taylor Swift to a much larger following, to a lot more money. She didn't have the money in 2019, even with all of her money at the time. She didn't have enough money to buy her stuff back out of that deal. She wanted to, and she tried, but those deals are so big with, millions and millions of dollars. She wasn't able to then. She could probably do it now, no problem. She's probably a billionaire, I think. But anyway, She took what was frustrating and upsetting and would have robbed her of a ton of money and made her feel powerless. She pivoted. It's the power of the pivot. Okay, who am I going to be? So that's what I'm talking about for you. What happened in your life that you've stayed in the story, you've stayed stuck there, that you could pivot and learn who you truly are about what happened. Learn and grow yourself in a way that you would not have grown yourself if that thing hadn't happened. That's the very thing that's giving you access to a bigger version of yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the very thing that causes your life to expand if you choose it to be that way. So to not only expand your life, but to find out who you truly are. To find out the you that's in there. If we were here just to have life go exactly great every single day, no struggles, it would be pretty boring pretty quick. But the opportunity is to take the challenges, even the most painful ones. The loss of my daughter, the ending of my marriage, showed me who I could truly be. That if my girl had been born a regular kid with no medical issues, I would never have known what was possible for me and what I could rise to, how I could choose to deal with things. And it took me a while to figure that out. I'm not saying it's overnight, but at least understand in your head that what's possible is a pivot. And that pivot can be the catalyst that catapults you over any wall that's coming. The catalyst that teaches you who you truly are. So whether you're operating at the level of Taylor Swift or you're operating as just a person in your town, in your life, things are going to happen. You're going to get knocked to your knees. Who do you choose to be? How do you want to find yourself? How do you want to return to the truth of who you are, which is capable of dealing with anything? I'd love to know. Think about that for today. What would be possible if I could pivot rather than stay stuck? Have a good day.